Got all this darn rust in there.
Well, look who decided to show up. I've been out here struggling with this thing, and you finally, you know, we get ready. I'm almost done with it. Then you show up.
You just ain't got enough dirt in it. That's a problem.
Well, we got more of that. So welcome back, guys. If you've watched the last video, you know that I have finally got the trans situation situated. We've got it figured out. We have got the right combination of parts in there. We hope, fingers crossed. Before we get started, a guy asked me to do a quick rundown of what my trans is, like what the build is on it. And it's pretty simple. It's a 4L80. It's a pretty common thing in a 2500 pickups, vans, yada yada yada. But as far as like the build itself, it's really nothing crazy to it at all. It has a billet input shaft. It has this extreme automatics valve body. It has some clutches from Suncoast in it. And then this is the original NP241 that came in Clifford way back when in 1995 when it was brand new. And that's pretty much it. So as far as the trans goes, input shaft, valve body, clutches, and that's all she wrote. Nothing to it. But we've got to get this thing in here, and hopefully we can get it in there tonight, because I want to put this thing on the two-step and see how it acts on the trans brake with the proper setup in it, without having a lockup clutches dragging, without having other things going on. I want to see how close it is, and hey, nothing else to it but to do it. You ready?
Yep.
To have you filter, you got to filtrate before you translate.
This is now.
It's a translator, right?
You can just use that fluid. And that
Well, that's what the filter's for.
Yeah, it'll catch all the stuff that's in there, right?
Yeah, no problem. All right, so here's the idea.
I'm more of a seat of the pants kind of guy.
The idea is that we just lay it down here on this here trans jack, and we don't spill everything that's in the box.
Do you want me to lift it up?
I don't know if you're gonna be able to. All right, sit her down. You big strong man. All right, now you gotta help me. Each one aside, or you want to? Noise! That's all. That's your boot! Alright. And
Cut.
snap your fingers. Anyway, let's roll this thing around and pressure wash it off. Let's get some of the fluid off this transfer case. I think I can wash it from there. I think I can wash her from there.
Got this thing ceramic coated. Water don't even stick to it now.
We interrupt your regularly tuned transmission install to let you know that Hurricane Ida has made landfall. It has been nothing but nasty weather here all weekend, but nasty doesn't even begin to describe it for Jordan. If you remember Jordan is the guy who tunes my truck. He welded the exhaust for us. He goes riding on the razors with us. He is one of my best friends, one of my partners, and he is right in the eye of the storm. This thing has basically made landfall over the top of his house. So if you're seeing this, make sure that you're thinking about him, wishing Jordan the best, hoping that him and his family still have a house after all this. I was able to talk to him earlier today, but I haven't heard from him in a couple hours. So I, you know, and hoping all that is well for him. I know that another friend of ours just down the road from him says everything's okay. So hopefully the same goes for Jordan. But in the meantime, while it's not raining here for a second, I'm going to take this opportunity to actually get the thing on the ground, get fluid in it, and see if it can get up on the trans brake, because that's going to let us know what we need to do next. That's the biggest obstacle that we have right now, is getting this thing to make the boost that we need in order to party hard at Rocky Mountain Race Week. All right, so I've got 2 gallons of ATF in the trans. It basically takes in the ballpark of 3. It takes around 12 quarts or 3 gallons to get this thing fired up. So I've got 2 in it, but I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, let it idle, let some of that fluid cycle through there, get into the trans cooler lines and stuff, which reminds me, I've got a new cooler on here, so don't let me forget to show you that. I know that this isn't live time, but if I say it out loud, maybe it'll help me remember. Let's fire this thing up. Woo! Like a champ. All right, so I got around 10 quarts in this baby, somewhere maybe a little over 10, closer to 11. But that should be getting pretty close, getting to the point where we need to start putting the dipstick in it, let it run, check it and add, check it and add, check it and add. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this thing on the ground and let it, you know, actually go through the gears, go in and out of park, reverse, neutral, back to first gear, you know, back it up to the mailbox and back, kind of do those things and make sure that every single piece of the trans has lubricant going through it, it has oil in it. And hey, hopefully we'll be good to go, get a little heat in it, and then it's trans brake time. When this truck's been sitting up for weeks, I always forget how low it is. Whenever I put it back down, it's like, dang, when is it gonna stop? It just keeps going. Dang it, I was just bragging off camera that I didn't have any leaks before I even put it on the ground. What the heck, man? Alright, let's fire this rig up. I don't know, we'll have to check it out. Fingers crossed it's not just dumping fluid out. Well, crap, guys. It's still pouring, but this time I think it's actually coming out of the vent. I don't think the fittings were loose at all. I knew that we put those on there tight. I didn't turn them very much. But it's like as soon as it starts getting up to temperature and it starts cycling some fluid is when it starts pouring out the top. It's really hard to see, but I'm going to get the thing jacked up a little bit higher again and recheck this vent tube. Okay, maybe third time's a charm. Let's just run this thing through the gears a little bit. Let's see if this thing makes some boost. So there you have it, guys. We made it to the two-step. That is a good sign. Obviously the converter is still acting a little bit on the tight side, and that's all right. I didn't have any of the tuning stuff that we do to help it make boost, to help it get on the two-step. I didn't have any of that turned on. I wanted a smooth baseline to kind of see how it behaves, but I was able to get to 3,600 and 4 pounds of boost with no help. Basically, like I said, just a good baseline to get us started and see what we need to do in order to help it get there quicker and faster, and we can throw the kitchen sink at it. I've still got to trace down that vent problem because, like I said, it has some fluid coming out of the vent. I thought maybe I had just gotten it over full. I thought maybe there might have just been a little bit of residual fluid in the vent hose itself, but I don't know. It's coming out of there pretty good, so I'm hoping that I didn't get something backwards in the pump. Maybe that torque converter regulator valve or the boost valve. I'm about 99% sure that I googled the proper way to reinstall those. But there's a pretty good bit of fluid coming out of the vent, and that's not something I've ever had to deal with before. The vent tube itself is clear and free. It shouldn't have any trouble getting air out of there. But hey, on the next video, we're going to try to see if we can get that track down, maybe. And as long as we can figure out where the fluid's coming from and why it's coming out of there, you know, we're trending in good shape for race week. This is good news. And with that, I am going to call it a night. It is late. It's starting to rain again. Like I said, please keep Jordan and some of my other buddies over there, Billy and Nico, some of those guys. You'll meet them on race week. Make sure you're keeping them in your thoughts, prayer, send them good vibes. Well, whatever you do, make sure that you're thinking about them, because this storm is a nasty one. I talked to Jordan while I was filming a second ago, and they had a window get blown out. Part of the roof is trying to peel on them. You know, it is scary, scary stuff over there, but thankfully, at this point, nothing too drastic has happened. So keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, and wish the best for them. But as always, I'm Diggins E71. Thanks for watching. Keep digging. We'll see you next time.